Everyone, and welcome to our 2027 Draft Scouting Series. And as I discussed on last week's Fields of Friendly Strife program with my friend and host of the show, Justin Schaff, there is good reason why some would rank Oregon as the number one football team in the country. And it starts with today's player, quarterback Dante Moore. I have already talked about Arch Manning, so we're going to talk a little bit more about where they may fall, a little comparison. So stick around today for that full eval as well as some film of Dante. But before we jump in, set your alarms tomorrow live at 10 a.m. Eastern. Neil Stratton and I will be live on Scouting the League with Drew Fabianich, Executive Director of the Panini Senior Bowl. We will talk outlook for the 2027 game, players, and all things football. Questions, drop them in the comments here or head over to Twitter and leave them at RightStepADV. We will go into the mailbag if there's some good questions. So make sure yours is one of the good ones. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, following all things Scouting the League wherever we are at. Apple Podcasts and YouTube are the spots. YouTube for that film that we will get today. We will be live on both of those spots, YouTube and Twitter, for our Wednesday episode. Make sure you head over to my website, rsafootball.com, for all things Right Step advising, my background, everything I'm doing. Make sure if you are a scout, if you are an agent, if you are a player, if you are a front office, no matter where you're at in the football world and you want an evaluation, RightStepScouting.com is the spot for you. Full reports, one-liners, draft reports, portal reports, video reports, no matter where it's at, RightStepScouting.com is the spot for you. Make sure you head over, request a report today. I will get something to you turned around to make sure you understand the full landscape of everybody, college football, pro football, no matter where you're at. And if you're a scout or an aspiring scout, make sure you check out thescoutingcommunity.com for all the resources we have for you. And as you're going to be going up and down the sidelines, in and out of buildings, working during football season, bluemaca.com insoles should be in every pair of shoes you have. Use code SCOUTING20 at checkout to let them know we sent you and a little discount on that order. Whether you need that art support, plantar fascia support, turf toe support, you need that non-slip insole that's going to make you a better athlete, more productive athlete, or hey, you're just a somebody on the sideline, a scout, a coach, whoever, you need that support. bluemaca.com is the spot for you. But today it's all about Dante Moore. As we get some film rolling, hit that share screen button as we start talking Dante Moore. We are talking a very good player in this class, and we're going to look at, again, his touchdown throws here. Make sure you're watching full quarterback information as we look at his profile. Listed at 6'3", 206. A little bit on the light side. Height falls into a sufficient category. I think that expectation, he is going to be slightly under 6'3" when the time for those verifieds come. A 72% completion percentage in 2025 as a first-year starter. That's a good completion percentage. Again, anymore we're expecting. It used to be 60%. We want 70 to 80% now, just with the way college offenses are. Just 8 attempts over 5 games in 2024. So again, as a second-year starter in 2026, certainly going to be some next steps that every scout is going to want to see. 30 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. That's a good ratio. Some of those interceptions highlight what he needs to work on. So we're going to talk about that. It's going to be important for him to take those next steps. With quarterback, everything matters. Everything has to be looked at on the field, off the field, on the sideline, in pregame, postgame. Everything matters. So important to see a quarterback in person at least one time if you're going to put an evaluation on him. If you're going to take someone as high as Dante Moore is expected to go, probably 6 to 7 live exposures, in my opinion. You need to see him at home. You need to see him on the road. You want to see him versus good teams in critical situations to see how he responds. Again, for quarterbacks, the ultimately fell, and it is so important for the quarterbacks. But we're still going to look at quarterback traits as we have the film rolling up here. Again, we want to see things not always physical. Decision-making, we want to see good decision-making, playing within an offense, being efficient, making good decisions, especially down in the red zone. We want to see accuracy, short, medium, long. We want to see him be able to throw different situations. We want to see how this guy throws. Again, a lot of different mechanics, set, drops, throwing motions, but we want to see consistent We want to see him be able to do it repeatedly. And we want to see him, again, be able to do it off of different angles, different slots, all that kind of stuff as well. We want to see some poise. Again, how does this guy play different situations, 2-minute, end of the game, red zone? We want to see situational football because that is, at the end of the day, what separates winning teams from losing teams is executing in some of this situational football stuff. And then mobility. We want to see how mobile is this guy? Can we use him in the run game? Can he manipulate the pocket? Is this guy a designed runner? Or, hey, gets what is there? Does this guy play within the offense and what we expect him to do? So, where does Dante have? Again, start with the decision making. I think it's good. Plays within the offense, very consistent. Again, Oregon really rolled a lot of people. You see him playing within the offense, having good game awareness. Again, you see some throws that he makes or sometimes holds that I would still like to see him improve on. Again, that would be the one spot. Again, he tends to hold the ball until that guy comes open instead of anticipating the throw. That's going to be one of the big things. I want to see the ball come out slightly quicker. You saw it in the Indiana game when he throws an interception to D'Angelo Pons. Again, the ball's got to come out before the wide receiver gets his head around, before the wide receiver makes his break, before the player's technically open on film. You want to see that anticipation. I want to see Dante take those steps with his decision making. The accuracy, again, at 72%, I think it's good. You can see it the short, medium, long. You can see him throw with touch. You can see him ratchet up some velocity to throw into some tight windows. You see him rolling left, rolling right, working out of the pocket. You can see him doing those things from outside the pocket, kind of off target or off platform. You can see him make all these throws. Again, good with the accuracy overall. His drop set of mechanic. Again, this guy's got a consistent, repeatable throw. Again, this is a pretty natural thrower of the football. He can do it from the hip. He can be a little bit more aggressive throwing it from the hip. I think there's some times where he brings the feet, brings the hip around where, hey, I'd love to just see you whip it out there, get the ball out a little bit quicker, allow that offense to work a little bit quicker. So again, good at this spot. Again, I think it could certainly go to that very good if we see some of that stuff. Poise, again, I see some good poise. Again, this is going to be one of those spots where when it went bad in the Indiana game, it went bad and you needed to see him. You saw a player that didn't panic, but I wanted to see some urgency in the poise. I wanted to see him rallying the team a little bit more. Very steady heartbeat, but you still want to see, again, a little bit of emotion. Again, this has been talked about with quarterbacks over a long time. Tom Brady, you could see the emotion come out at times. In Atlanta, we talked, hey, we wanted a little bit more with Matt. Matt did it in a different way, and you certainly saw it at times. Again, you want to see Dante Moore ratchet that up a little bit. Poise, situational awareness. When the game's online, you want to see it in his demeanor a little bit more, and that is going to allow him and the team around him to respond in a different way. So again, I want to see that ratchet up when it matters, see him take that ownership. I think that falls under that poise category. And the last one with the mobility. This is good athlete, maybe very good athlete. He can win with some designed runs. I don't think with the frame at just over 200 pounds, you want this guy taking a lot of hits. You want him to be smart when he's there, which I think he's got a good level of slide, a good level of decision-making there. But again, this guy can win with a pocket mobility, win with his time in the pocket, do all those things. Again, it's not going to be a wildcat quarterback. This is not going to be a big zone read guy, but he can certainly pick up some yards when it matters. So ultimately, where do I have Dante? Well, it's time to close the film and jump over to our beautiful big board where I've got Dante Moore. This is a first-round grade. Again, this is a fairly easy one. He's got all the traits. He's got good to very good traits in a number of spots. He's done it at a big school with high expectations, and the expectations are absolutely going to be there. This is a 1-0 type player. This is an elite category player that, barring something really going south for him this year, this should be a first-round quarterback. Now, I'm going to slot him just below Arch Manning. And at the end of the day, I think in some of the spots that I want to see an NFL quarterback play with, I think he is maybe a half step below Arch. I think he's got slightly less arm strength off platform than Arch does. I think Arch actually plays with a little bit more of that poise that I talked about. Again, getting guys fired up. I think Arch has a little bit more of that prototypical NFL size. Now, I think Dante, it could be a head-to-head matchup that determines quarterback one, quarterback two. Texas, Oregon on a collision course to push each other for number one team. I think these quarterbacks could be battling for that number one spot as well. So it's going to be really fun. But again, things I want to see Dante improve on. Again, anticipation. I want you to throw with better anticipation out of breaks. I want you to get rid of the ball. Don't hold it some of these times where things start to get a little bit muddy. Trust your offense. Trust what you see. You've got huge expectations. You return to school for a reason. I fully expect to see some of those steps being taken when it comes to being a first rounder, but not always about what I think. What do you think? Where do you think Dante Moore should be? First round grade, second round grade should be in front of Arch Manning. Is there somebody we haven't talked about? Lenora Sellers, perhaps, or Damon Williams that is going to get a little bit of love through the process. A lot of good quarterbacks in the class. Who do you think should be quarterback 1, 2, 3 as we get through it in our 2027 draft scouting series? Make sure you head over at RightStepADV. Let me know. Drop it in the comments here on YouTube, wherever you are at. Make sure you join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern, where Neil Stratton and I sit down with Executive Director of the Senior Bowl, Drew Fabianich. We will get some questions in if you drop some good questions, so make sure you enjoy those. Get those questions in. Yesterday was all about preseason football. Head back and listen to that one if you haven't already. But it's preseason football time. We are almost to real football games. Enjoy it and make sure you keep scouting.